Progress.
Got your Yoko Ono t-shirt on, I see.
Yeah.
Every home should have one.
Yeah. You know,
I keep
Yoko.
forgetting because I do all these other podcasts and I can't vape on them, but you don't mind if I vape, do you?
Ah, you're welcome. Yeah, do whatever you want, man. It's good to see you.
And you?
Hi. Just yeah, how's it going?
Good. I was at God, I was at a kind of anti-war march, anti-war vigil. Only four people, like I'm probably say average age of its late 60s. They
Right.
come along every every third Thursday in the month. And my daughter came with me. And the guy said to her, he said, it was a big tall guy, he was about 6'8". And he said, people say, what's the point of this? He said, but see, even if you make people think about it for 2 seconds, I really love people that are that dedicated.
I saw just one person to change one person's mind.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
And actually, a lot of people spoke to us because it's up near Social Bite. There was a few kind of probably homeless people and all that. The guy's going, over that Netanyahu. What's he trying to do? He's trying to kill us all. Yeah, I said, oh, they're just him and Trump just need power because they think it's going to keep them out of the courts. Because they know once they're out of power,
Yeah.
then all their legal, all the kind of their various malfeasance is going to catch up with them.
It's classic insanity behavior, you know, from both of them.
I know, but I suppose it's like they can't think any other way to keep ward off the courts, ward off the judicial.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Trump, but definitely that's what the old Polish guys try to do in
They think
1948,
Trump,
you know.
I know, but they think Trump might even flip to kind of, he keeps talking about how great Venezuela is. He might seek asylum in Venezuela.
Who,
Stop him. Trump, doesn't he win?
if he doesn't win, he's going to Venezuela.
Aye.
He's definitely
Keeps
going to
talking.
win. I'm sorry to say it, but he's definitely going to win.
I'm not so sure now. Because
Hmm.
people are getting a bit bored with him now. Because he just comes up with the same old guff.
Hmm.
And he has to get more than his base. His base will stay with him, but it's getting people beyond the base. And this is what the issue is. He's got 30% locked in, but he needs about 35. So it's whether or no. That's all you ever need. Like that's all Hitler had and all that. That's all you ever need. Probably Netanyahu's probably got less than that.
Well, how many turned out in
Thirty.
the UK for Starmer? Is like 15% or something?
I didn't even need that. So that was 35% of 60% electorate. So I think that was about 20%
Hmm. See, I don't know
of
much
the.
about America, you know. I know that it doesn't make much difference. It's just they're both the same, really. And in fact, what I thought it was like Obama was a bit like a Tony Blair moment. Everybody's like, wow, Obama, but actually he caused more damage than Trump did in his time. He killed more innocent people. I know that sounds great. I'm not a Trump fan or anything like that, but just going by innocent civilians killed, I
The one
think.
thing I always like about Obama is he hated Netanyahu.
I
Netanyahu
don't know
hated
that.
him.
Yeah, that's
Aye,
good. That's healthy.
they
Oh,
hated Netanyahu. Like you see that they never even pretended. You know, like he does like Trump and all that because Trump recognised the embassy and they recognised Jerusalem
mm.
as the.
I think that was just a thing. He got paid to do that, so he just done it for the money. I think he moved it to Jerusalem, and where was it before? It was in Tel Aviv, right?
Yeah,
That was Yeah. I
because
mean, even a lot of Starmer. I think more than half of the Starmers who have his team, they were all paid by Israel as well, man.
there was all this Friends of Israel thing. But you get Friends of Palestine as well. Some of them are in this Friends of Palestine.
Hmm. In America, you know that the guy's just given Trump like 6 billion, Musk. And it's like it's not a lobby, it's some separate sneaky legal loophole where he
Pa,
can
pa,
just
Packs, they call it pack.
Axe, that
Like
was it.
yeah. And they've got all these. They've all everybody in Congress except two people or something like. I've got an Israeli, a kind of Israeli pack. They spend about. Did you see the guy in Congress the other day talk about it? About how they think it's worth
Stop
a couple of
looking.
million because they pay these people about 100 grand and then they tell them how they should vote and things when it comes to Israel and all this.
Yeah, I had to stop looking. It was driving me. It was just getting too much. Uh, but the thing that I looked at recently, did you watch the video of the priest from Bethlehem?
Oh yeah. I
Winter.
think he might have been on that.
Yeah,
You remember I was telling you about the call?
yeah, but he's really good, man. The way he speaks,
Mm.
like he's just like a down to
What was
earth
his name again?
Munter Isaac or something like that. Isaac Munter.
Right.
But comparing him to the Archbishop of Scotland, and just like seeing these two different, like he's just a down to earth guy, and then this guy thinks he's like, because I spoke to the Archbishop guy.
Oh, yeah. You need to be
I was like,
careful.
what do you think? And he's like, well, he just sort of said, we don't believe in killing anybody, but he didn't want to say anything about anything, which is just as bad as, it's like, it's got to the point where this complacency is doing nothing is you're being complacent, I think. Am I right in thinking that?
Well, it's like I suppose it's like well that we've come out quite justice and peace have been
Hmm.
Scotland. That's part of the Archbishops. That's the commission of the Archbishops Conference or the Bishops Conference in Scotland.
Yeah, but I mean, like the big universities in UK or any kind of
Oh yeah,
anybody
I
that's
was
got
like,
a platform, all the football players, they're all quiet. All the kind of media people, most of them are quiet about it still. So there's a
did you
few
see
rap.
all the Reginald? Well, a lot of them aren't. Did you see all the Reginald D Hunter stuff?
No, who's that?
You know, the stand-up comedian.
No.
He was accused of being anti-Semitic and all that, and then somebody had a video of it because these two kind of Zionists stood up because he
Mhm.
said Israel. What was it? It's like an abusive partner or something like that. You hit back at them, and then they say, "Oh, they're hitting me," and all
Was
these
that
people
the
said,
fringe? Was it
You're a racist and all that." And then it turned they ran all these the GB News and the Daily Mail and all that ran all these stories about these two poor people that were set upon by the audience and all that. And then somebody had filmed it, and it wasn't like what it said. Reginald B. Hunter says, "Look, let's end this peacefully. Let's end this. We let peace and joy. Let them go." And she shouts it. I hope you enjoy your racist comedy.
Yeah,
But
it's really
then
easy
she's
to be it's really easy to be hurtful and negative. That I'm guilty of it myself, and then I'm like, okay, because I had this conversation last night about somebody. Would you rather go to the army or would you rather go to jail? And they didn't really understand that I was talking about what's going on in 1948, but they were like, I'd rather be in the army. We discussed it for about an hour, and she was like, well, I'd rather be in the army than be in jail. But she didn't
yeah,
get that I was talking about, well, 1948. But what I understood was I've been in jail all my life, and I've got to fight for against being negative and being hurtful. You've got to be healing and be positive, right?
try. That's what we try to do if you kind of like respect the kind of human condition, solidarity.
But it's
So
really easy to to shout in the crowd. Like I used to do it all the time. I'd go to a gig and I'd shout stuff, and I thought that was me being Glasgow humour or Glasgow audience. But imagine you're in the band and someone's shouting shit at you. It must be you've probably had that as well.
I've had it. I have had it.
It can't
Had
be that
it.
good.
It's no great. It's
What's
no
the
great.
what's the
You always
best?
think I'm going to say something really clever back, but sometimes you can't. But I thought it was a really good one when that guy shouting at the end of one of our songs when we played in the Henrys in Aberdeen, he's shouting, "Morrissey, you'll be turning his grave. It's bad." And I said, "God, I didn't know he died," kind of thing. And then I decided I wouldn't let them start the next song, and I started going because this is one for our older viewers, but Peggy Bagcock Peggy. Do you remember Razzmatazz? Do you remember the TV show Razzmatazz, the pop
Yeah,
show Razzmatazz? You had
yeah.
to try and say that 5 times, and you won the prize. Peggy Bagcock Peggy, Peggy Bag. Babcock, Peggy. It's a tongue twister.
Peggy
So I
back.
started just doing that, walking about the stage and doing that, and you could tell the other ones were embarrassed. So we has just struck up the next song because he's like, I'm not letting this guy just carry on doing this. It's not a cool scene, but you
Yeah.
just want your own back. I'm quite vengeful. I'm like the Jewish, sorry, the Israeli state. I'm quite vengeful.
Mm. God, I had to stop looking at it. It's horrible.
I know. I've reached that fatigue now. And the guy says, I'm stopping posting because people don't even look at the videos now. Look at this, it's a child without a head and all that. And it's like,
Well,
I
yeah,
know this is,
it still comes up and I'm just like clicking straight off it. I was just like, what?
I know.
But then I just seen a brilliant, Kneecap, right? I don't know what you think about them, but it's a
Oh, yeah,
brilliant.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He's got a film
They're
out.
not being, see when they're not stupid. The film's kind of stupid because there's a lot of drugs and stupid sex stuff, and the jokes aren't that good. But the music's pretty good. And then the best thing about them is when they're just being interviewed normally like this. They're so interesting. They're so eloquent, and they talk about the situation so well. And they're really
Right.
strong about Palestine. And they're
What
just
is that? What's the film called?
I don't know, Kneecap. I don't know really, but it's kind of, it's just what exactly what you expect. Like too much drugs, and then it, Fassbinder's good in it, but it's like it's trying to be everything, and then it ends up being, I don't know. I don't want to slag it off because I think they're great. They're great guys, man, and they help me out. And I don't want to slag the movie off, but they're up for an
Yeah.
Oscar, maybe.
The what?
I'm fussy about movies. I mean, I hated Reservoir Dogs, and I hated a lot of movies that people love. I don't know.
Uh,
Train Spotting, like everybody I talk to here, like Train Spotting and then Brave. I've never even seen Braveheart.
I've never seen Braveheart.
You've never seen it either. Cool.
No.
And Train
Uh,
Spotting, it's like a music video, it's not really, the book's okay, but the film's just like a video
yeah.
for it.
What was it? What is it? Irvin Welsh said it was like Carry On Train Spotting, the film.
Mm.
There was an element of that. It's funny because I never saw Train Spotting 2.
Yeah, I did see it. Yeah, it was a bit more serious.
Right? That may have been better actually.
I think it was a better movie, like just because it was less like a music video.
You did right. It was so like a music video and all that. It was pure like when he was climbing into the toilet and all that. It was
Yeah, it's just,
because it's funny. I saw it in the cinema with Thea and when it came out, and I've never been moved to ever see it again.
nah.
That's
No.
nearly 30 years, is it? 20 years? No.
It's crazy. It's a long time, man.
96, 06, 16. No,
Bye.
30 years. Nearly 30 years.
Oof.
But I should have seen the second one. Was
Uh,
it based on another book?
yeah, he's right. He writes non-stop. He got married to Momas' sister.
All right.
Quite funny. Yeah.
Or sister-in-law, is it no? Was he not out living out in Japan for a while or something?
No, it's just his Momas' next
And
sister.
all right. And then he was
That's
he was living in Miami, and then did he move to Ireland or something?
who? Irvin Welsh. I think he's just a
Aye.
London kind of dude. I think I'm
Right.
not sure. I don't know.
His stuff's good online anyway. His Twitter feed.
I don't know
Good.
Twitter, but yeah.
I should get rid of Twitter with a nutter.
It's talking to everybody. There's not many things that you can do anymore. Like everything. Ben and Jerry's is the only thing. I don't know that everything's like even Puma or Adidas.
Oh yeah, yeah. Adidas, they
Coca-Cola.
really let themselves down. Or was it who was the one that Bella Hadid?
She done the
Was that
ad for Adidas, and then they took her down. So then
aye.
she was lifted up. But then Adidas is like Celtic, so you
I
can't
know,
wear Celtic top.
I know.
But Adidas is
But
always
the
fun.
boys no asked me to get him one this year. I quite like that third strip. Is that camouflage
Yeah,
one?
that's
It's
right.
quite kind of
Black one's okay.
it is very militaristic. It's weird, really weird.
Yeah. Has Matt O'Reilly gone for sure, huh? He's gone, yeah.
Yeah, he'll go.
I think
He was
it's
always
finished.
he's always going to go, wasn't he?
Yeah, yeah, he's too
I
good.
thought he didn't want to go to Brighton, but I think he thought he was going to have that Atalanta one.
Hey, you can't really knock back 100 grand a week if you're probably getting 50 at Celtic.
No, it's probably more like 20 to 70 or something.
Well, he's on at Celtic. That's a big difference
Aye.
between 20 and 70.
Oh, that's what I mean. 20 or 25 and 70 or something.
So now he's going up to 100. I mean, of course, you can't.
Well, I don't know if he'll be getting 100. I don't know.
Well, I think all these English teams are so much. It's crazy the amount of differences between Scotland and England.
But if you they got 100 million in TV money before they even think about anything. And Scottish clubs got about, 400,000 in TV money or something. God, there's Rangers 5-0 up. I'm allowed to
I
say that.
turned it off at 1-0. I like to just see what's going to happen and then turn it off.
I say me, 2 goals each for Dessers and Matondo.
Hey, did you see Mariki's goal against Real Madrid? This Mariki guy from Kosovo.
Oh, right. No, no,
Hugo
no.
was phoning me up. He's like, he's better than Mbappe. Mariki. And we've got a photograph with him because we went to some training games. He's quite a
And
cool guy. He's a big pirate. They call him the pirate.
did he play for Real Mallorca or what?
This
At
from
some
York. He's
point?
got a great header. And it was one each with Madrid, you know. So that
Or
was
was it? Right.
first game of the season. So
Mbappe scored, did he?
no, he didn't. He was quiet. That's what I'm saying. This
Oh, right, right.
guy scored for Mallorca. It was a big result for them. I don't think they take any points off Madrid very often.
Right, right. And was it in Mallorca?
Uh,
Or was that last weekend?
I was just there last week. Yeah, it was. Yeah, swear I've got a couple of free weeks. But I watched that Munter thing once, right? And the thing that I wanted to talk about is this sort of. He was basically saying that it's 1948 is bad, right? But the real people behind this are the Christians, man. And that's why I'm conflicted with it. You know, it's like the Christians are the ones causing this shit. And then have you heard about the red heifers?
Or is this kind of the white caps type thing? Is it something to do with that? No, is it something to do with some kind of, are they some kind of militia?
No, no, no. The red hat is some kind of biblical thing where the Christians are pushing for this. They're pushing for everything. Because they're trying to speed up end times. That's what they believe in. You know, same as the.
Right.
So there's this sort of collaboration between the Zionists and the angelic Christians because they want to fulfill the prophecy. You know, and one of the
Oh,
prophecies
yeah,
is
yeah.
red heifer. So it's a big red cow with no. It's completely red haired and then some kind of weird sacrifice on in a special place.
Evangelical Christians, you mean?
Yeah, but it's all written down, so they're just trying to they're importing these red heifers from America. The
Right.
the government are paying for it. American in 1948, they're paying for the import of these cows to fulfill this prophecy. It's pretty spooky and scary, man.
Oh, the red heifer's a cow, right?
Yeah, it's a big cow, and the blood gets spilled somehow, and then the temple gets smashed, and they build another temple, and then it's the end of times, and then either the Christians lose and the Zionists take over, or
Is this something to do with Temple Mount? When people talk about Temple Mount, no.
it could be. I mean, I know I'm being totally vague, but I just was like, "What the hell? It's spooky that they're trying to fulfill this biblical thing." And it's
Send me that guy. Send me that guy's thing again. Like,
Munter
I
thing, yeah.
just, aye.
But this isn't really. This is separate. This is something I'm just going off on many tangents. But it was just he was saying that yeah, it's like the Christians are the ones with the power, really. It's not really the well, I don't know. They're both interloping in this prophecy, but they're in the end, everybody like it's just they just want to bring all about like Armageddon or something, you know. So and they're not afraid of it. That's what they want.
So they say, but
It's
do,
scary.
do, I don't know that. I mean, I don't know how many cults. I suppose there's plenty of people in plenty cults.
Well, like there's three trees, right? And each tree's got like more than 70 branches, and there's Christianity, Muslims, and the Jewish.
Islam, yeah.
There's
But
three,
Christian, Judeo kind of thing, that's more of a kind of, that's interlocked anyway. The kind
right,
of
but
Christian,
it's not the
Judeo
ideology
traditions.
that's interlocked. I think they're just trying to bring bring each other down. It's like not bring each other down. They're just trying to speed up this sort of apocalypse so they can all get to heaven or whatever it is they want to go.
Well, that's the kind of martyrdom stuff and all that, but that's more an Islam thing, is it?
I'm not sure, man. I don't. Islam's like a mystery to me, but it seems to be the most appealing at the moment. I don't know why.
That's the only one that's really kind of putting on numbers.
Putting on numbers.
Aye, aye. That's the growthy Islam, that's doing all right
Right.
compared to other religions.
I like Sikhism. If you know about Sikhism, that's the
Oh,
young.
yeah, yeah.
They're kind of cool.
So, where were you last night then? You were speaking to,
Ah,
you
that's right. Because
do your teaching,
there's a big party here, so I had to get away from the party because where I live is right on the square, and the party goes on
right?
at 5. So I thought I jumped in the car with a hammock in the car, right? And then there's this girl hitchhiking, right? So I stopped and I knew she was someone that I'd spoke to, and I checked it. She's half Moroccan and half something else. Amazing. Anyway, I was speaking to her and I got to know her, and she put a t-shirt on and I took a photo, and then I went home and I found out that my mum had died, and I thought it was all connected somehow. And we had this,
Right.
it was kind of strange, and then I didn't see her for a while. Anyway, I picked her up hitchhiking. I was on my way just to sleep in the trees, and then she was like, "No, I'm going to see this band." So I ended up going to see the band. And
Who
another,
was the band?
just some local dudes jamming, sort of. We played that Leonard Cohen song, and it was just like a jam, like nothing.
Is it still warm over there, aye?
Aye, aye. Anyway, I ended up talking to her. It's quite good. And I ended up sleeping on the beach as well, but it was, yeah.
Does anybody else sleep on the beach?
That was just me. It was quite damp actually, but I was just like, just to get some quiet, because the whole house shakes. They've had this big sound system.
All right. And do people just have to, that's what they're saying about European towns and all that. They don't mind, like, there's no that same NIMBYism. You just have to put up with it sometimes. People kind of make noise
Yeah, the
late
local.
at night.
I mean, it's just like a tradition, and everybody's all in,
Yeah, that's what they're saying. It's other traditions.
and
People just accept them.
it's often.
Yeah, when we stayed in Lisbon and we stayed, right at the top of that, you've always seen the postcards, the top of the vernacular railway, the kind of tram that goes
Mhm.
up the hill. We stayed right there, but right under it was a kind of pop-up bar. It was open
Right.
till 4 o'clock every night, man. It was some noise. We
Uh,
just with the two kids, we shouldn't have been there with the two when they were young.
the noisiest thing's the people talking above the music, because they just keep
Yeah.
the volume keeps going up. I think
Is
compare
that
it
is
to-
that a completely different town that you're in now that we were in when
Oh yeah, I've
we
been
came
in
and
a
stay
few
with you?
towns since then.
Few
Yeah,
towns, all right.
yeah.
Is it quite far from where that place where we were with you before?
You were with me in Valdemosa, I think.
Aye.
Nah, I mean, it depends. But depends on. It's like 40 minutes in the car.
From Valdemosa,
Where I'm now, yeah.
right?
Yeah. Are you still thinking of coming over?
Yeah, well, I looked up. I was hoping to come over on the September weekend, but it's not. None of it's cheap.
Nah, it's about
Must be
100.
cheap. No, it was 500. It was about
No, you can
440.
keep looking. You can get 100,
It
150.
was it was EasyJet. That's if I could get 100, it wouldn't be an issue.
You should try Edinburgh. Edinburgh's sometimes cheaper.
Well, that was from Edinburgh. Aye.
And it's just as easy to get there, really, you know.
I know. There's no question. There's no problem with that. But
No.
no, it was all at like 400. I'll look again.
So you don't really, you need to keep looking. Yeah, it'd be good to see. Ugo would love to see Corin.
Yeah, no, they got on well. How's Hugo getting on?
Brilliant, eh? I kind
He's
of
not
missed
back
it.
at school yet, is he?
Starts a couple of weeks.
Right.
Couple of weeks, yeah.
Is it 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off for you now?
But it'll go back to 1 week when he starts school.
All right, right.
He's got a match tomorrow. I'll go and watch his first match of the season. I'll go and watch that.
All right, cool.
Oh, I wanted to talk to you about this thing about charity as well, because like the guy from Hot Chip, I got the company to send him like a pink hoodie with Yoko on it, right? And then I
Right.
didn't say anything about helping anybody out or charity. I didn't say anything about that. But then when he agreed to do it, I was like, oh, by the way, here's this video we made of some kids, and the proceeds will go to help these kids, you know. And then he was like, then he posted it, then he took it down. And he was like, "Oh, it's too vague, you know." He wanted like he wanted the name of the charity. He wanted to know more, and I was like, "Look," and he's kind of stopped talking to me. You know, we're talking a lot, and he remembered me from Cafe Gandolfi, you know, because they came in there one
Right.
they were playing at Optimal.
All right, right.
But it's got to this delicate tightrope point where I want him to post the T-shirt, put the link to buy it, and say
Which
something.
one is he? Which one is he?
The little
Is he
singer, really cool. The
the wee
singer,
guy?
it's called Alexis Taylor.
Oh yeah, yeah. Bizarrely. There's one of Alexis Taylor's solo albums.
All right, I bet it's great. His voice is great. What's it called?
Yeah. Um. Oh, it's obviously Get Wet. Oh my God. I don't even know if it's in here.
Right. He's got a three or four solos out.
Yes, aye.
I told him I
Holy
was
moly.
crying because he'd done a cover of Big Gay Heart, and he's put it on
Right, right,
Instagram. You should check it out. And I wrote to him, look, I was playing that when just after my mum had died, and it really was I was crying and all that. It, like kind of broke the dam, and that was what made the connection. You know, he's done a new
right.
version of it. It's such a weird song.
He never wrote it. We're going to see Evan. He's back here in
Wow.
October.
I'd love to see him this tour. It was an Australian guy that wrote it, was it?
It was. What is this album? Doesn't even tell you. It's got all these lyrics.
Yeah.
Words. It just says words up there. Look, that's all. It's very minimalist. This. Like it's really minimalist. Like a kind of hymn book or something.
It's like Yoko Ono actually style.
Yeah, it's aye.
The fonts is almost
But
similar.
just the words up in the corner. I love that. Words. See it? Just
Yeah,
up there. And
yeah.
that's it. And there's no. It doesn't tell you who this is.
Did you buy it? Did you walk into a
I
shop
bought it. Aye.
just by
Because I
chance?
love his, like you just say, I love his. But how do I find out? It's like maybe the gatefold bit might have told me more, but it's it's jammed tight, you know, with the
You don't
it's
want to.
got wet, and see if I try to warm up, it'll just all right.
No, don't do that.
Oh man,
Anyway,
oh
the
geez,
problem
so
is I don't know how to solve it because he wants something definite. He's like, you're too vague.
have you got a name for the charity?
No, there's nothing. We don't have a charity. This is the point. The problem is we haven't made it's less. It's like 1,000 or 2,000 max, right? And I would like to try and. I don't want to give it to a big charity, but I don't know how to explain that and
But
make
why
it.
can you not link in? Mate? Could you not even find somebody? If they, who do they give it to? The Green Brigade. There's all these
But they
teams
give
and
it to Ada Celtic, which is the exact same concept, and it was kind of running parallel to ours, except we got 2 grand and they got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And that's the brother of Kneecap as well, who works there. Now I met them all, I met the director and all that. But
right,
we just gave them our idea, and they were like, well, we just do it ourselves, you know, we don't really need you to do that. And so they kind of done a similar idea, but they've done it. They went to South Africa, and they're going back again, but it's like the difference between 2,000 and 200 or 300 or 400,000. There's a lot,
mm,
you know, just regarding organization. But the problem with the guy from Hot Chip is that's what he wanted, some definite answers, and I was like, well, I just want to. Basically, my idea is to do the same thing to get the team on holiday, but that would take hundreds of thousands. It's not going to happen. So I would just like to go back there and just help them with shorts, and they can't pay for stupid things. But that sounds like I'm being like, what was his name, Morales, going to the favela or something. I don't want to do
Yeah.
performative charity, which is fucking what it's like Jimmy Savile territory, you know?
Wait, steady. That's something different again.
Well, you know what I mean, but it's like
I know what you mean.
that's how I
This
kind
is
of fell out with Catherine as well, because she just wanted to give the money to Choose Love, and then the director of Choose Love, they're on £1 million a year, you know. I don't want
all
to
right.
I don't want to get involved with that. And then I tried to get water to Gaza, and then I had to talk to people in Zurich and or Abu Dhabi, and I'm like, shit, if it's just a few hundred thousand, not a few hundred thousand, it's a couple of grand, then why don't I just fly over there and meet the people and personally help them? But I don't want to promote it like that. I don't want to say like, so how do you do it? It's like I know Ronaldo gives money to Palestine apparently, and he doesn't do it like a performance, which is the way it
No.
should be done, you know. But then how do you the other? It's like a thing. I don't know. It's not a paradox, but you know, you want to get publicity to make the money, but then you don't want to say, "Hey, I'm doing charity." And also, I've got my selfish reasons. I want to go back there myself. I feel like it was the best time of my life, and the time I felt great, you know, about myself being there.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult. I'm going to take this into the car and listen to it again.
Aye.
To the top of that.
But the immediate problem is what do I say to this guy in Hot Chip? I want him to. I don't know what to say to him. He's like, you're too vague. I understand he might be like, shit, is this guy just getting me to promote his t-shirt to get money for himself? I mean, it could be like that, you know?
That's what I mean. Why, you would automatically have a kind of not a suspicion, but you would worry.
Mm-hmm.
You would worry, wouldn't you?
Because that happens a lot, I'm sure.
Oh no, definitely. I'm just looking up see if I can find his solo stuff. Alexis Taylor.
He's got
He's only 40. He's only 40. Well, he's 44 now. Here's his albums. Was it Rubbed Out? Rubbed Out.
I didn't really know his solo stuff so well.
No, I'm sure it's. Is it Awake Barbarians? I think it's Awake Barbarians.
Right. Cool.
But I don't know if I think I need to find it. I just need it. No, it doesn't even come up anywhere. Awake Barbarians. Alexis Taylor. Oh, there we go.
Right.
That's it. That's it.
What are barbarians anyway? Is that
That's like the barbarians are at the gate. They were supposed to be the kind of savages.
Oh, it's from the Bible.
It's from kind of ancient history kind of thing.
The savages at the gate. Which gate?
Aye. The barbarians are at the gate. It's a famous, I don't know where
Which gate would that be?
yeah, I can't remember if this is the first one. And it's
The Damascus gate?
mate, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just this is
but too far. How do we keep our dream? How did we must make some?
Am I Not a Soldier? This is called. You should say to him, yeah. I think it would, in terms of this whole kind of t-shirt thing, Am I Not a Soldier? It would be a good soundtrack for it, you know?
Yeah.
The barbarians are at the gate.
What would you do if you were if you were like living in 1948? I mean, you would just join. You would join the army. I think that not many people just choose to go to jail. I mean, 99% of them they just join up, right?
Yeah, well,
That's what they've been
I
taught.
know. Well, exactly.
It's not as you can't compare it to Vietnam or America because that's completely different, you know. And a lot of people said they wouldn't go, you know.
I
But
know.
somebody was talking about Vietnam recently and saying America should apologize to Vietnam, you know.
I can't believe they never did. Daniel Silva said it, the Secret Servant. But I don't know the kind of etymology or whatever you'd call it. The barbarians are at the gate. Who said the barbarians are at the gate? The expression barbarian was used by the Romans to describe foreign attacks against their empire.
Ah.
Right. I said that ancient times, didn't I?
Yeah, the barbarians.
Because obviously that's why they do these like Hadrian's Wall and all this kind of stuff. They do
Yeah,
these
but
things.
The Scottish people are the barbarians, and they were like, "No, you can't get it." There's a few parts. Nah, they got into most of Scotland, didn't
No,
they?
they just gave up on it. They said it wasn't worth it.
They gave up at the wall. And
Yeah.
there's a little Roman thing,
But it wasn't Scots then, it's Picts. No, it was Picts.
right?
Scots weren't even Scots then because they hadn't had the influence of the kind of Vikings that came over and changed it. This whole idea that even if you lived, even if you trace your ancestors way, way back, there'll come a point where your ancestors probably weren't from here. Because even then, like the Picts, they were a totally different people, and the whole influence of the kind of the Vikings changed because they come over. So that changed. It changed it. This whole idea about our British identity and all that. It's from other countries. All this stuff about immigrants are kind of diluting our British identity. No, that's what Ash Sarkar had a good thing. He said, no, immigrants. It's British people themselves who are obsessed with American culture. It's just the Americanization of the culture. The fast food stores we all go to, the things they do. We've just been Americanized. So we haven't even got our own culture. We didn't even try to protect our own culture.
I don't know what to say about that. It's just like dividing. I just think it's just like the people in power try and split people up, divide and rule. And like the funny thing happened with there was riots recently, and not in Dublin and in Belfast, all connected to like people talking shit online about people that are obviously psychologically damaged doing these things. But it's not, they don't have an agenda. It's not part of a plot. They're just crazy people.
I know.
That's probably what happened with Trump, is some crazy person. But they jump on it and say, oh, they're taking the jobs or whatever. But do you know that there was a lot of Irish nationalists waving tricolours, joining forces with right-wing unions and rioting together in Belfast? They're kind of connected to what you were saying. And Kneecap were going on about that as well, because this Irish tricolour whaling nationalist dafties, they were nowhere to be seen during the Troubles from Dublin.
Exactly.
Going up.
Yeah. I know.
What are they jumping on each other for? I mean, there's just for some kind of myth of nationalism, which is a complete myth anyway, right?
I know. So so why are you against people that, I don't know, like, so you're joining forces with people that think you should be treated that way as well? Never mind.
It's fear and it's racism. It's just they're afraid of brown people. They don't like brown people, and it's ignorance and fear. It's nothing to do with nationalism, I don't think.
No.
Bullshit. Anyway.
There was a guy on the radio yesterday saying, can it be considered terrorism? And he said, no,